What's up, everybody? What's up? It is good to be back with y'all today. As you come in, whether you're coming in live or whether you're coming in on the replay, let me know that you're here. Say what's up in the comments, drop an emoji that I may or may not even be able to understand because I still am not sure about some of those emojis and what they mean. Every time I send an emoji or type an emoji or post something with an emoji, I am just praying that is what I think it means. Because let me know, though. Let me know that you're here. Say what's up. For those of you who are unfamiliar with me or just know me on whatever platform that you're watching on, whether it's Facebook or YouTube, I'm on all the platforms at its_Evan B. So I'd love for you to check me out there. I'd love to connect with you in whatever platforms that you use. Also got a website, www. Obviously, don't all the websites have that? At least they used to. It's evanb.com. So I would love to connect with you there too. Hey, today I just really quickly wanted to share something with you, something that Jesus said in John chapter 13. And this was kind of brought on by the passing of what should have been a much more famous pastor, at least in America, Pastor David Youngie Cho, who recently passed. I think he passed yesterday, might have been today. Um, and he pastored for at least a long time the largest church in the world. And for whatever reason, I feel like he didn't get as much notoriety and popularity in America as he should have, being the pastor of the largest church in the world. Not that he cared about that at all or that that was a big deal. It was always kind of interesting to me. But for those who were familiar with him, he was known for being the pastor of the largest church in the world. He was also known for prayer. I mean, this guy, the stories about him and his church and his staff praying are just absolutely inspiring. Thirdly, he was known for small groups and how they did small groups and how that church really grew and took off using small groups. And so, if you're familiar with him, these are some of the things that you probably know him by. And we get this, we understand this. There's people all throughout our lives that we know them by certain things. I know Michael Jordan as the greatest basketball player of all time with no debate whatsoever. He is the GOAT. It pains me to say it, but I think now you got to give it up. Tom Brady, not Tom Grady, Tom Brady has got to be the GOAT when it comes to football. Like, he's got to be the greatest of all time at this point. I mean, man, clearly there's people that and they're known for something. They're known by something. Maybe they're funny. Maybe they're smart. Maybe they're beautiful. Maybe they're tall. Maybe they're like me and they're not so tall. But whenever you think of that person or you hear that person's name or maybe you see that person, there's something about them, either their characteristics, their maybe their accomplishments, something that you know them by. And the same is true for us. Like, when other people think of you, when they hear your name, when they see your name, when they see your face, there are certain things that come to their mind as well. You are known for something. You are known by something. And maybe, that's different things to different people. So there's some people, especially since we recently moved back to Georgia, there's some people that know me from 20, 30 years ago. And so they know me differently than some of the people that I've met in the last 5 or 6 years. And we understand that. I think we all not only know people for certain things, but we're also known for certain things. So Jesus says this, which is really interesting, in John chapter 13. In John chapter 13, he's talking to the disciples, those guys that were following him. And he's saying, like, he's really reiterating a lot of what we talked about in our video yesterday about loving God and loving, others, loving your neighbor. And so in John chapter 13, actually verse 34, he says, "A new commandment I give to you, that you love one another just as I have loved you. You also are to love one another." And then here's what he says in the very next verse. He says, "By this, all people will know that you are my disciples." And disciples just means followers. if you have love for one another. So, what's Jesus saying? He's saying, listen, all people, not just the church folks, not just the people that live outside of your house, but all people inside of your house, outside of your house, inside your church, outside your church, inside your job, inside your neighborhood, outside your neighborhood, all people who know you, they should know you for the love that you have, not just for God, but for one another. Like you should be known, if you're a follower of Jesus, you should be known by your love. You should be known for love. And I got to be honest with you, this is challenging. This is difficult because so many Christians are known by other things other than our love. And so many churches are known by other things other than love. So many times, if you've been following Jesus any amount of time, you've been taught, maybe not expressly, but you've been taught to be known for something other than love. You've been taught to stand up for righteousness and what you believe that is. So maybe that's, being pro-life and anti-abortion. Maybe, that's this standing up for the right of the freedom of religion or whatever it is. Like the church has taught Christians to be known really as much for what they're against, more so than what they're for. So we all know this. We know people right now that follow Jesus. And when you hear their name, when you see their face, you think of the thing that they are passionately against, more so than you think about how radically they love. This is challenging because Jesus, like he makes it clear. Dr. David Young Cho is known as being the pastor of the largest church in the world, of a man of prayer and man of small groups that God just used to reach and impact so many people. And man, that's amazing. That's great. But Jesus is saying the ultimate goal is to be known for your love. That if you are someone who follows Jesus, you will be known if you have love for one another. Wow. That is not really what we would think about. We would think, hey, if you're a follower of Jesus, if you're a disciple of Jesus, you should be known for how much Bible you know, how much time you invest in prayer, how close you are to Jesus, how close you are to speaking in King James and Old Elizabethan, like how holy and righteous is your spirit and your aura. And I'm not downplaying those things to the point where we should just throw those away and not study our Bible and not pray. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that Jesus, when he says, hey, people will know that you follow me if you have love for one another. So maybe another way that we could ask this is, if the only thing that you could respond, like the only case you could make for being a Christian was how well you loved one another, other people, how much of a case would you have? If the question was asked, do you follow Jesus? And you weren't allowed to respond with words. You only were allowed to respond with examples and a life lived of loving other people. Would you convince anybody that you're a Christian? I know that's tough. We probably think of people that we want to love, or that we desire to love really well. But this says, by this, all people will know that you're my disciples. So how well do we love the unlovable? How well do we love those who don't deserve our love? How well do we love those who honestly are in our own homes? Because what I found is many times that's the people that can be the most difficult to love. And I'm not necessarily just talking about within my own home, even though that's been the case at times. I'm just saying, like, a lot of times people, not just Christians, but people will treat those outside of their home better than they treat those inside of their home. So they treat a guest better than they treat a family. And if we are to love all people, then we need to make sure that all means all, that there's nothing left, nobody left after all. So, the question for all of us is, what are you known for? What are you known for? Again, it's been really interesting recently moving back home to Georgia and coming across people that I've known for a long time and kind of, what they know me for, whether they knew me in high school or knew me playing basketball or, um, knew me as somebody who had recently given their life to Christ or knew me as somebody who served in the church. Like, it's interesting to come across people and hear how they describe their relationship with you. And I think all of us, if you're a follower of Jesus, need to continue to work and strive towards those situations, there being some mention of how well we love. And it may not, they may not say like, oh, Evan, he loves really well. But in how they know us, love should permeate that. Love should be that foundational piece in however they describe you and me and followers of Jesus. So, is it a little known fact that you're a follower of Jesus? I hope not, because if it's a little known fact that you're a follower of Jesus, it might be because you're known for things other than love. And if it's a little known fact that I'm a follower of Jesus, it's probably because I'm not known for my love. But we shouldn't beat ourselves up and just like say this is just my personality, this is just the way it is, this is just, whatever. We should actually start striving to be people who it's no longer a little known fact that we follow Jesus because we love so well. We love so radically. So I just want to challenge you today to just love well, love often, find people to love. Start loving those that you're already connected with, that you should love, and don't shy away from that. Don't try to justify not loving them because of whatever it is that they do. Because whatever category you put somebody in your life, Jesus tells you to love them. If they're your friend, he tells you to love them. If they're your family, he tells you to love them. If you put them in the category of enemy, guess what? He tells you to love them and pray for them, even those that despitefully use you. So don't let it be a little known fact that you're a follower of Jesus because you don't love well. Make sure that you are intentional today of loving people well. And sometimes that's going to mean pushing your emotions and your feelings to the side, not to deny them or anything like that, but just to say, you are frustrating me. You feel like it feels like you're unlovable right now. I'm going to push that to the side and I'm going to choose to love you intentionally, radically, passionately, often, consistently, all of those things so that one day I will be worthy to be known for my love. So I hope that hope that challenges you. I hope that encourages you. Man, I appreciate everybody for checking this video out, watching. Again, I'm on all the social media platforms. I'd love for you to connect with me there. My wife and I, we do a podcast once a week called Relatively Black and White. We'd love to connect with you, and wherever you listen to podcasts, you can hear that. Relatively Black and White. We're also on Instagram and YouTube. So check us out there. I'm going to try to get back on here tomorrow, just share a little bit with you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like it. Make sure you share it. Let me know in the comments where you're watching from. Can't wait to have this conversation with you guys online. God bless you.